Call the Election Commission meeting for Vienna Township to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Cindy?
Here.
Carrie? Sue?
Here.
Okay, the only item, we have two items today. One is to perform the public accuracy test, and the second item will be to approve the election inspector appointments for our AV counting board for Tuesday, May 5th at 2020. So if I could have a motion.
I would make that motion.
Okay, I'll support that. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to the public accuracy test for Vienna Township for the Tuesday, May 5th, 2020 special election. And this test is done before every election. I'll give you a little background. It's done before every election the week before at 10 o'clock. And the purpose of it is to ensure that the tabulators are counting our votes correctly and that every possible conceivable marking of a ballot is gone through the machine and rejected or accepted as it should be. There is a pre-accuracy test that is done before the absentee voter ballots go out. At that point is we make up a chart of predetermined results that where we then have to mark ballots for each of our precincts, each of our ballot styles, where we'll have a blank ballot. We'll have a ballot that has every square marked. We'll have a ballot that has no marks on it. We'll have a ballot that will have stray marks where somebody might just put a mark on the ballot. We'll have a wrong precinct put in there to make sure that if somebody on election day, when they're in polling locations, happens to leave their precinct, go to another precinct, that their ballot is not counted in that precinct, so that the machine will reject it. And then in also those tests, we have to make sure that candidates or each of the questions have different counts. So in this case, we have a yes and a no vote. So the yeses will at the end of this be 2 votes, and the no votes should be 1. So right now we're going to start the machine up. We have to print a 0 report to make sure that there are no ballots that have stayed in this machine. And while that's running, I will open up the test results from the pre-accuracy test. After sealed up, after that accuracy test with all the tapes and charts and everything in it, so these are the test ballots and the tapes of when we did this prior to sending out absentee voter ballots. Today we're going to be testing precincts, the tabulator that will do precincts 1 and 4. And the reason I chose that is because we have 2 different questions. Mount Morris Schools has a bond question, and Clio Schools has a bond question. So we thought that would probably be the best test for us. So this is the predetermined chart of results that I was talking about. It's a really short one, but when we get into August and especially November, our chart many pages, and we'll do many ballots. So this is what we'll check the tape up against the totals here on the bottom of the sheet at the end to make sure everything is done right. So right now we have printed our 0 tape. Everything is showing zeros. This tape stays connected, and it also will go into the box sealed up when we're all done today. So I'm going to open the polls to get my code.
4 zeros and a 3.
And it's now opening the polls. The tape will show what time it's been opened, what precincts we're working on, the election day. And then there's a spot where all the election inspectors sign that at the beginning of the day also. So now I'm going to start feeding these ballots in. Now this ballot, the machine is saying your ballot may not be properly marked. Either too many choices are marked, this contest will not be counted. And to make changes, pull the ballot or cast the ballot as is. Because this is a test, we want to cast the ballot as is. But on election day, if a voter was to do that, the machine would tell them, hey, there's a problem with your ballot. This is another one. You made no choices on the ballot. This is our stray mark ballot, which I'll show you that we have to make marks on both the back and the front of it. So we're going to feed that in and we're going to cast this ballot as is.
Okay.
This next ballot is you've made no choices. So again, we want to cast the ballot as is. Okay, this particular ballot, it says a ballot did not scan. This polling place is not configured to accept this ballot style. Contact the poll worker for assistance. The reason it's not configured is because this is a ballot for precincts 2 and 3, and we are currently working on precincts 1 and 4. So you can see that any ballot that goes in that's not supposed to be that precinct, it will not accept it. Now the rest of these ballots are marked correctly. Okay, now we have precincts 1 and 4, Mount Morris. So we have voters that are in the Mount Morris School District. Mount Morris also has a school bond that they're asking approval for. And so we have to mark a test deck because it's another ballot for Mount Morris School voters. And it'll be the same process as we just went through with Clio schools. This is too many choices. Cast the ballot as is. This is our stray mark ballot. Cast it as is. This is a blank ballot or an undervoted ballot. Hey, here's one of those that the polling place is not configured for this ballot. It's because it's precinct 5 to make sure that they don't accept anything but precincts 1 and 4. Okay, that's the end of all of our test ballots, and now we're going to close the polls. And in order to do that, there's a button on the back of these machines. It's a poll worker button where it'll give you the option to close the polls. So we'll hit close polls. Yes, close the polls. And the code is the same. So now the machine is closing the polls. It'll run a tape with the count of all the ballots where the votes that were valid will count. And then it's going to transmit these results by cell to Genesee County.
Wow.
So right now the machine is enabling the modem. I don't know if you can see that. It says transmitting results, it's connecting. We are 100% transmitted to the county right at this point. Well, that means everything that I just ran through, the county now has a tally of. Transmission was successful, the data was sent. It tells us how many ballots were transmitted. We press OK. It's creating a report which says that the transmission was successful. And then on an election night, it would then print 2 more totals tapes, which we use. One goes to the local clerk, myself. The next one goes to Genesee County Clerk, and then one goes to the probate court and the Board of Canvassers. So right now we don't need that. It's the one tape, but as you can see, we hang on to all of this tape in entirety. And it's done like this on election day also to make sure that everybody knows that there was no in between. But I'll show you on the totals tape. See this, but the Clio Area Schools bonding proposal, yes, we had 2 votes. Whoops, there we go. And no, we had 1. Mount Morris Schools, we had 2 yes votes and 1 no vote. And that
Cool.
matches up with our chart of predetermined results. As you can see, that blue box, it says total, and it's got 2 for yes and no. Same thing. So our public accuracy test is now complete. All of this tape and all of these ballots and everything will get turned back into this box. We will seal it with a brand new seal. It'll be recorded onto a certificate that has all the serial numbers. What date the tests were done. That will get emailed to the county for their records. Plus, we have to, in case this election is audited by the state or the county.
Good job, Cindy. Good job.
So this is the end of our test. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy the sunshine today. And hopefully we'll see you at the polls in August. And if you haven't turned in your absentee voter ballot, please do. You have until 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. Have a great day, everybody.